All right, there we go.
All right. All right. So, welcome everybody to the second session of the sendpsuh Agency Bootcamp. Today, we're going to be talking a lot about sales, sales scripts, prospecting, that kind of stuff. And we had, a couple of messages come through, not to be unexpected, but some folks that may um, just be a little bit hesitant with the technology, and that's okay. We're going to love you where you are. This isn't really something crazy that we're dealing with. We're dealing with wallet passes, and sometimes the different devices that we're dealing with, and then maybe how to help staff. Like maybe we had a good question that came in from Mark that we'll just address today, just to kind of show everybody the differences between iOS and Android, and like literally how to, just conceptually show them how to get to the back of the pass and all that other kind of stuff. So let's do that really quick. Let's
Yeah.
just kind of talk about
Drew, before you get into it, I will say too, like sometimes you just got to help yourself. Like there's going to be times where maybe Drew and I miss something. We don't think to show you something that would be useful for you specifically. If that happens, don't sit there floundering like a helpless, person. Like there for pretty much anything technical, like you could just go to Google and type your question into Google and get an answer for yourself, or Chat GPT or any large language model will probably give you an answer to a question that you're stuck on pretty quickly. Uh, a lot faster than, posting a long question in the group, or maybe putting a support ticket in. I always recommend first just do a quick Google search with something that you're stuck on,
Yep.
or use Chat GPT. If all else fails, sure, we're here to help you. But sometimes it's just easier just to, find that answer yourself. In most cases, like getting to the back of a pass of a wallet pass, a Google search will return that information to you in 3 seconds.
Yep, easily, easily. And we don't want to frustrate you because,
Yeah.
David and I are not always front and center inside of school. And sometimes, like, we need to sleep as well. I know David never sleeps, but I'm getting older, guys, and I favor my naps and my sleeps and stuff like that. So, if we don't get back to you immediately, we will get back to you. Alternatively, the Googles, as David just mentioned, is a fantastic resource. In fact, even the very things that you guys are messing around with today, the AI is a great resource, whether it's, yeah, obviously the results that are coming back, but for something germane as this,
Mhm.
you could really find that out. And I've got a couple of graphics for you that'll show you, like in just a handful of slides, it shows you exactly what to expect. Right. Thing number two, and really the whole purpose of today's call is simple sales and prospecting strategies. Right. We're going to be talking about a bunch of scripts and even like scenarios, like kind of creating a narrative. And I've given you all kinds of different examples. We start a lot with like appointment based types of businesses, massage therapy, um, spas, that kind of stuff, right? That's just one kind of scenario that we're talking about. And not to conflate or confuse anybody, this is not an appointment scheduling type of application at all. And in the original script that I put out there was, and this is probably a good thing for us to talk about as well, is like ideation, guys. Like these are, templates and scripts that you can start to work with, but context clues, right? If it does it, if you know that the software doesn't do, and maybe that's our fault for not, precisely telling you exactly what to say and what to do, you've got the flexibility and freedom to think about this kind of stuff and use it in context clue type of situations, right? Clearly, if it doesn't create a robot for you, you're not going to say that this creates a robot for you. Think a little bit of how the software is using it. So I will try to do better to be a little bit more concise with some of the um, collateral that we're giving to you. And I've gone through and edited most of it. I may have made some mistakes, but don't crucify me or David for that kind of stuff. Use your heads, right? So we're going to go over this. It's comprehensive, and I think we've given you some really good good foundational type of scripts and strategies that you can go out there. And some of them, I was having a discussion with Sandy yesterday, and um, like I get it. Some of the strategies may seem a little bit cringe, and but it gives you an idea of how you might get through the front door. Let us know in chat. I'm not looking at chat right now, but let me know in chat. Do you have a little bit of, you know, I would say anticipation, a little bit of fear getting through the front door? Like, how am I going to show this? How am I going to sell this? Right? Give me a number one in chat. Give us number one in chat. If we talk about sales all the time, whether you're in this software now, we're talking about send push, whether you're selling lead bubble, you're selling ask spot, you're selling some type of other widget type of software, or even websites in general. Do you have a problem of fear of prospecting and sales? If that is you, I would highly encourage each and every single one of you to seek out sales training. We offer, I think, probably the best in industry sales training through our Learn to Sell mastermind. If you're have experienced any of that at all, I know a lot of you have benefited from it. David and I have immeasurably benefited from, seeking out and really working on our salesmanship and the ability to skillfully communicate with people.
Yeah.
The templates that we're going to be talking about today start that process. Dave, what were you going to say?
I said, yeah, we've invested a lot of time, money, a lot of money and effort into sharpening our sales skills. Just like everybody else, Drew and I never had any, strategic, real sales training in our backgrounds. Drew is a nurse. I worked, for my family's business for years and years before, entering the marketing space. It's there are some people who are kind of just naturally good at conversations like that, but for the most part, the majority of people are not skilled at sales because they've never learned how to sell. Like, and what's interesting is what I find is, we've been talking about our relationship with Matt and our Learn to Sell program and access to that for years. It is the least purchased course or training that we offered, but probably the most important. It's just one of those things that people tend to avoid. They tend to avoid. And what happens is instead of actually doing the things that will generate the revenue, like learning how to sell, learning, tactical and strategic sales strategies and role playing and practicing those things, people will just tend to move on to the next shiny object with the thought process in mind that, okay, that thing didn't do it. It was the fault of that strategy or that service. I'm going to go try this one now. And, raise your hand in here, put a one in the chat if that sounds familiar. You know, I'm kind of bored of this thing now. It's not working out. No one's like, running up to me and handing me checks. I'm on to the next thing now where they tell me I can go collect $1,000 checks without ever having to talk to anybody or do anything.
Yeah, it's huge deal, and I think David and I genuinely want to help you and put this out there. We're not pushing it. We're not trying to sell it or whatever. Although we're trying to sell it, right? Meaning get
Yeah.
buy-in from you guys to go out there and
Yeah.
I would
It's
argue, David,
anything
you
you're doing. It's
yeah,
anything that you're doing. Forget about SendPush. Forget about any product or service that you want to generate revenue from. You've got to have some sort of sales skills. You have to go talk to people. You have to, create trust and have relationships and have conversations about what you do and how what you do can benefit those people. Without that, you'll flounder and just, you know, do nothing forever. I'm not saying that's all of you, but I know there's a lot of you on this call. I know just because we can see it. There's a lot of people who are just floundering. And the what happens is what I just explained before, that shiny object syndrome. Now I'm going to bounce to the next thing. Now I'm going to bounce to the next thing. Now I'm going to bounce to the next thing.
Yeah, as consultants and business owners, agency owners, recognizing that having sales skills is probably the number one transferable skill. So if you're selling this product or that product, whatever, if you know the product inside and out and you know that the recipe or the prescription that somebody needs and wants, if you can skillfully navigate a conversation, a sales process to, truly help the other person get the results. I mean, but
Yeah.
look at SendPush. In reality, if you're able to help any business, any local business build a sizable list that they can then communicate their offers to those people, effectively helping them with their sales. Like they're going to buy. They're going to buy your stuff and you're probably going to feel good because you've converted and made some sales. And not to
Yep.
beat the dead horse, but it's I would advise if you're not really comfortable with this, be a professional. Really, be a professional and look at some of the athletes that are out there. They consistently train themselves to get better at the position on the field that they take up. Whatever their position is, they're working on catching the ball. They're working
Yep.
on hitting the ball. They're working on defending. They're working on all the go routes, all that other kind of stuff, right? People show up before work and they stay after work to work on their craft. This does I don't think it takes a long time to learn these types of things to help your business. We would love nothing more
Yeah.
than for all of you to make $1 billion or $100,000 or whatever it is that's going to take care of you and yours
We are
with
living proof of it, we truly put, like, an extraordinary amount of, um, effort into sharpening our sales skills. If I tell you right now, I can show you how to 7x to maybe 10x what you're doing in sales for your agency right now. Would you be interested in learning that?
it goes to number 7 in chat if you'd be interested in it. I know some of you are already involved in that program and have experienced it. Many of you who aren't in that program experienced it the other day. David invited you to go and experience some
Yeah.
of that training.
When I came across, so I saw Matt Easton on TikTok like 4 or 5 years ago,
Mhm.
whenever it was, and he really caught my attention. I loved his style of teaching. It was short, sweet, and to the point, with like real little strategies and things that I could pick up from those videos that really helped me. I was in a point where I was just like really struggling with sales. I wasn't afraid to do it. I just didn't know what to do. I needed somebody to tell me, when you pick up the phone, say this, use this strategy, do this thing. I just didn't know. You just don't know what you don't know, that sort of thing. Um, After consuming his videos for months, I actually reached out to him, sent him an email, and he called me. We had a long conversation. Um, Drew and I started doing personal one-on-one coaching with him. That is not inexpensive.
No.
Not at all. You're probably talking 40 to $50,000 a year to work with Matt one-on-one. It's a once to twice a month coaching call. And actually what we have done is we get 2 coaching calls with him a month. We actually give one of those to you. That's one of those calls that you were on last week. We meet with him personally once a month, and then the other call that we get, we've actually kind of donated to folks within our community. If you want to really, truly grow your agency, make more money, you've got to learn how to sell. Everybody says Matt's amazing, but you've got to take what he's teaching and actually use it and put it in play. Oh, and I still hope you're making those phone calls, man, that we talked about on our mastermind call a couple weeks ago. I truly hope you were sticking to your promise. Good. What's going on there with that? How has that helped your business? Have you had more conversations? It takes a while. Sometimes those cold reach outs that you're making don't always turn into anything right away. But all of a sudden, you're like 2 or 3 weeks into it, and you're still consistently picking up that phone or making connections with business owners, and then all of a sudden, a phone call comes in
Yep.
or an email gets replied to. "Oh, I was on vacation," or, "I meant to reply to this, but, it got lost in my inbox. Thanks for following up. Let's connect. Let's have a meeting." And then little by little, if you keep doing it, momentum starts to happen. What's Owen saying here? Sticking with it, definitely more conversations and getting better. That's a big talking point too. The more you do it, the more comfortable you get and the better you get at it, the more skillful you become. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
like pushing a rock uphill. True.
there's that propensity for all of us to shut things down when you face adversity. When somebody says no, it crushes our soul. Nobody likes rejection. I don't like rejection. David doesn't like rejection. I'm sure Owen doesn't like rejection. I'm sure every single one of you don't like rejection. But guess what? There's a
Yep.
billion things going on in people's brains. And just because they don't respond back to you, or just because they do respond back to you in a way that you weren't really hoping for or expecting, it means nothing. It means nothing. There's been products that I've been researching. I'm like, huh, do I need this? Do I not need this? Maybe I'm thinking about it. I get bombarded by similar types of offers and products. And we all, go through our own purchase journey when we're considering we did the exact same thing with Matt. We're like, do we need this? Can we afford it? Can we do this? Can we do that? And then we realized that, hey, if we're truly going to grow our business, this all makes sense to us. We're going to get the training that we need and invest in ourselves. And I got to tell you, it was one of the very best decisions that we've ever made, because now we can negotiate, we can navigate those types of conversations and understand the relationships that we're building with people. We're not trying to be sleazy salespeople. We're looking to skillfully navigate these conversations, and you'll pick up on some of these scripts. We don't want to beat this, a dead horse here,
Yep.
but it's also, an open invitation to you. If you lean into the things that you are uncomfortable with, and I pretty much can guarantee that
Yep.
you're going to feel good if you address the things that you probably intuitively already know that you need to get better on,
I'm going to be
right?
brutally honest. Like what we're talking about here in terms of people floundering because they don't know how to sell is rampant within this space. Those of you who are on this call, you know who you are. You don't have to say anything or put anything in the chat. You know who you are. And just know that unless you take a different pathway and approach your business differently and pay more attention to the things and the activities within your business that actually produce revenue, things will never change. No piece of software, no marketing strategy, no service, anything will change. And I get passionate about this because I'm sick of it. I want people to prosper. I don't want to see people floundering. When I get a support ticket from somebody who's been subscribed to AskSpot for 2 years and they're going to cancel now because they haven't done anything with it. I was like, over 2 years, you could not have sold a simple AI powered chatbot to one single local business or any other service. That's just an example, but it makes me sick to hear that stuff because it's not necessary.
And what's worse is sometimes the gaslighting that comes along with it, right? Is like, this software doesn't work, right? It completely works. It's been fully supported. We've added all kinds of stuff or whatever, but that's just a symptom of a lot of behaviors that are out there. And we're not casting blame back on everybody else, but this is a symptom that's rampant. And
It really
just like
is.
this, we see it in a lot a lot of people in this space, and there's just so much opportunity. I posted in the group the other day, like, I reached out to somebody that I saw in a group that was complaining about SMS, and they are in Texas. I reached out to them. I have no idea who this person is. They're just outside of Houston Hobby, I guess, area. Hobby Houston. I don't know how you really how you pronounce it. And they're interested. They want to buy. They've got some questions. Like, it- distance doesn't there's all kinds of excuses that are out there. You have to have the audacity to stand up for yourself and realize that people are interested in what it is that you've got to sell. You have a monster opportunity to sell really simple software here that delivers incredible value. Are there some bugs here and there? Of course, there's going to be some bugs here and there. And that's true with everything that's out there. But don't you the excuses have to, like, be toned way down. Take a little bit of personal responsibility and realize that if you can skillfully navigate conversations and show we're going to go over some of these benefits now, right? So,
Let's get into
David,
it.
anything else that
Yeah,
you
I'm
want to say
sorry.
before we go?
Hate to harp on it, but I feel passionate about that. I hate seeing people unhappy, struggling, floundering, not knowing what to do when what they need to do is right in front of them.
Yep.
You know, it's not about the software, it's not about the service, it's not about the tool. Because honestly, learning how to sell is probably the smartest thing you can do for yourself in the world of business and, in your job, in your work. Understanding how to strategically take somebody through a sales process is so important, but pretty much nobody does.
So do us a favor as we start to get into this. Let us know in chat, like, what are your short-term goals in terms of sales? Is it $5,000 a month? Is it 500 bucks? Is it like an extra $100 a month? 125 bucks a month? Is it 10,000? Is it 50,000? Like, what's your short term and your medium goals for something like this in general for your agency? And there's zero judgment here whatsoever, but, knowing that if you're at ground zero, and that's okay, love it. Sometimes ground zero, starting fresh, is a really huge opportunity. I love my zeros that are out there because it gives you an opportunity to get plus one, right? Plus one, get those wins. And if you can learn to navigate that, use some of these scripts here to get through the front. Like, this is probably one of the easiest things that you could ever do. And there's going to be people that, they're like, meh, whatever. I don't really care. Those are not your customers and clients, right? So let us know that in chat. I want actual dollar figures inside that chat. And once I pop back out and see all of your beautiful faces, I'd like to see a whole list of numbers inside there that will help navigate, push you in that direction. It's an open invitation to learn. If you've got questions about that, hit me up personally. Send me a text message. Hit me up in support. My number is 484 797 4544. Okay. Somebody copy that down, put it in there. 484 797 4544. All right. I don't want to spend a lot of time with you guys. I'm not trying to sell you anything. If you've got questions about it, need some guidance, be glad to talk to you. Let's dig into this. So let's address Mark's question about this. This is the front of of an Android version of our pass. And what you're going to look for if you're trying to help yourself or you're trying to help a client and teach them, maybe their staff or something like this, is this. See that little 3-dot thing there up there? That is what you're looking for to get to the back of the
Yeah.
pass. Once you tap on that, you're going to get this, which is the back of the pass. And there's all kinds of fun stuff that you could do in the back of the pass, like links to all kinds of cool shit. All right. Click to subscribe to the newsletter, click to visit my website, or just show us the back of the pass to get your thing, right? Like you don't have to be crazy. We're not talking about point of sale and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk more about those types of strategies. This is what this looks like on Android. Now, of course, it's going to do this. Right? Of course, my slides are fucking there. I can't believe that.
It's
So
pretty much it's the same thing on Apple.
it's
There's
the
a
same thing.
little ellipses up there. On Android, as soon as you hit that, it flips the pass over. On
Yep.
an Apple, when you hit that, it opens up another little sub menu, and then you just need to click on pass details. Um, and I think it was Mark who's asking that. Mark, if you can just do a quick Google search, and you'll see tons of images, or just try it on your for yourself.
Here it is for you.
Yeah,
Right.
there we go.
So
Yep.
basically, the ellipses, instead of it being vertical, it's horizontal and it has a little circle around it for the iOS people. When you tap on that, you get this on the back. And of course, my background is dark. Yours might be white. Don't worry about that. That's not a big deal, right? So that's what you're looking for. And I think this was one of Sherry's passes, right? So she's kind of promoting her newsletter here. And down here, you do have the ability to kind of scroll up and down, and she's got a little bit more of a message that was down here. This is all editable, all this stuff that's down here. All right. So there you go. I just wanted to, any questions about that right now before we move on? Like, this is literally what you're trying to do. Once the pass is on the device, right? Don't worry so much about the QR code. We've talked about that ad nauseum in the previous call. But you don't even have to include a QR code. I think leaving it there just, allows you and other people to be able to share this with other people. They can scan the QR code right from your iPhone or for their Android device, and they would get the pass as well. All right. So with that said, let's get into some of the simple sales scripts and prospecting strategies. As I put together a document that you should all have access to. Painstakingly gone through and edited it. Is it perfect? No, it is not perfect. There's going to be some elements in here that I want you to read through and learn some of these strategies to get on the um, to get on the radar for a lot of these people. So I want to go through like one or two of these and then just show you that this is an extensive document. Like, it's 27 pages here. Not all of them are scripts. There are scenarios inside here. We're going to switch it up a little bit, but let's go over a couple of these. My recommendation and why we kind of harped on, getting some sales training is because it helps you through scenarios, like how to connect with the people first. If you're on LinkedIn, anybody get like really good results from LinkedIn? Like, I've never really gotten great results from LinkedIn, but here's the thing. If you are connected with somebody, gives you an excuse to say to leverage that. If I reached out to Dave or to Art or to Mark or to Sherry or to Sandy, you know, hey Dave, it's Drew Griffin here over at SendPush. We're connected on LinkedIn, right? So you're making the telephone call. Most of the time, people are going to be so confused, like who's calling me and that kind of stuff. I would say 99% of the time you're going directly to voicemail. You're going to go directly to voicemail. And that's kind of what you want, right? It gives you the opportunity to drop a message in their voicemail. The number one tool that you should be using is your phone. You guys know this intuitively. You've got a software that creates something for the phone. Get really comfortable using it and get really comfortable about putting your cell phone number out there. Because ultimately, if somebody's interested in your product and they want to talk to you, you better answer your phone. And the way they do that is, hey, it's Drew. What can I get you information on? We'd learn that script directly from Matt, right? Be able to answer the telephone. And even if there's a debt collector, even if it's the IRS, even if it's, whatever, answer your telephone. Don't hide. Get yourself out there and be willing to pick up your telephone. If it goes to voicemail, make sure that your voicemail says, hey, mine says, hey, it's Drew Griffin. Sorry I missed your call. Leave your message and I'll get back to you. That's exactly what I'll do. Right? Just tell them that you're going to get back to them and then call them back to find out. Just get it off of your plate. Get the hard part out of the way. Right? So here's how it goes. Right? Basically going to say, if they answer, it's like, Hey, Dave, it's Drew Griffin, helping local businesses with customer communication at sendpsuh.io. Make up your own version of it. Hey, we help businesses communicate better with their lists. You and I are connected on LinkedIn by way of referral, by way of the Chamber of Commerce, by way of Facebook, by way of OnlyFans, right? Whatever it is that however you're connected, I don't really care, right? Just tell them how you're connected. That's a huge deal. Once they know how you're connected, they feel a little bit more comfortable saying, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, Dave." And they kind of lean in a little bit, interested in what it is that you're having this conversation about. Hey, I wanted to reach out personally. If you use the word personally, that really lowers the bar even further, like the anticipation, because I discovered something that's helping local businesses solve customer no shows or last minute cancellation challenges. Like, I don't really like no shows. I just, like, hey, I'm finding a problem that the type of business that I'm reaching out to would probably have an issue with. Feel free to edit this. Okay. This isn't perfect. Ideate. Everybody get that? Just give me a number 3 in chat if you get that. I'm assuming that you understand this. And understand that when you're working with AI or you're coming up with some type of template that's easily editable, you don't need to let us know that we fucked up. All right. Pardon me. But, just edit the thing, right? Just use it for yourself. Use it for your business. Hey, we're helping local businesses solve issues with last minute cancellations. I'm assuming that you guys have some challenges with that from time to time. I'd love to get your opinion on this new tool. Hey, can I text you something that shows you how this works and take a look at it when you have a minute? I'd love to get your opinion on it. If they say yes, send them the design pass. Now, am I telling you that you have to go out and design 150,000 passes? No. Once they say yes, that's when you design it and text it to them. Everybody get that? Give me number 4 in chat if you get that. What I'm trying to do by telling you not to design that pass in advance is to save you some time. I'd rather you pick up the telephone and call 150 people today or throughout this week. And when the interested party gives you the time of day is when you create the pass. It doesn't take long to create the pass. Great. Hey, I'll have it over to you in about a half hour. Boom. You create the pass and send it over. You do your due diligence and send it over to. This is a volume thing. And once you get into that habit, hopefully you'll text me, you'll call me and say, Drew, you saved me a bunch of time by me not having to needlessly create workspaces for people that aren't interested in my product or passes. Everybody get that, right? If they say no, here's where you get to be a little bit ornery if you want to. Hey, you know what, Dave? Totally makes sense. I'll be here when you're ready to solve the no-shows and the last minute cancellations and get 90% of your customers to actually see your messages. Who would feel delighted, elated, enamored to be able to give it back to them a little bit, right? This is how you do it skillfully and still not burn the bridge. It's the ultimate FU, right? For those of you who don't like my vulgarity recently, I've had a head injury, so please apologize. I'm apologizing in advance for that. I'll try to hold my tongue a little bit. But this is the way that you kind of give them a little zinger, right? Hey, Dave, totally makes sense. Hey, I'll be here when you're ready to get more revenue coming through the front door by solving some of your last minute cancellations and get 90% of your customers to act. Give me a number, 7, lucky number 7 in chat. If that redemption feels a little bit redemptive to you, right? I mean, why should they all have the fun telling you no and rejecting you? We're going to reject you back a little bit as well and kind of let you know, hey man, I'm just trying to help you. Like literally, if you've got your wallet here, right? You got a gold bar and you're handing them, a gold bullion bar that's worth, a lot of money to them. And they just, you know what? I don't really need extra money. Okay, that's fine. Then you go to the next business. There's literally 100,000 pizza shops in the Philadelphia area. You can go to any restaurant and you're going to find a dozen 200 of these businesses that are going to want what it is that you have. Really, honestly, truly, I can't serve them all. That's why we're talking to you guys. All right. Here's a voicemail. Here's the voicemail. Hey, Dave, it's Drew Griffin helping local businesses with customer communication at sendpsuh.io. We're connected on LinkedIn. And hey, I just discovered something that's solving no shows and last minute cancellations and improving communication challenges for local businesses. I was hoping, I'm not sure if it really helps you, if it can truly help you, but I'd love to get your opinion on it, right? You can just ideate a little bit and just make it seem like I'm a little bit nervous here, but also direct. Can you give me a call on my mobile? It's 484-797-4544. Boom, done. If and when they call back, hey, Dave, it's Drew at your company. Thanks for calling me back, and pause for a moment. Just pause. They're probably going to, hey, Drew, yeah, good. I'm just giving you a call back. Listen, hey, my team and I discovered a way using technology that's already available on every customer's phone to send messages directly to their lock screen that their customers can't miss. What we're seeing now is a 60 to 80% reduction in no-shows by solving those no-shows and announcing that we've got open tables, something like that, right? And a solution to last-minute cancellations. That's essentially what I'm trying to say, right? When businesses use mobile wallet passes to communicate with their customers. Now, I know that you're probably very busy. Can I text you a link that shows you exactly how this works? Now, and you can check it out when you've got some time. If they say yes, sure, what are you going to do? You're going to text them and create the pass and send them the link to download the pass. It's probably a good idea to know, hey, are you an iPhone user or an Android user? Like, at least in the short term. If they're an iPhone user, perfect. What can you do at that point? You probably create a geo notification lock screen message for them. Something that's quirky and ornery, something that's going to get their attention when they're on campus. How do you get their campus? Because you're probably going to know what their business is. And you can do a little research to that little thing that David talked about a little bit earlier, the Googles, right? Pretty simple. Oh, you own Island Pizza? Let me look up Island Pizza in Douglasville, Pennsylvania. Oh, that's their address. It's 123 Main Street. Boom. You've got their address. You don't need to ask them questions and all that kind of stuff unless you already know in advance. You've got their business card. Like I've got, I don't know, like 100 billion business cards here. And I'll eventually go out and, remarket to them as well. If they say no, which you're going to get no's, here we are trying to help you again. If they say no, hey, you know what? Totally makes sense. I'll be here when you're ready to eliminate the no-shows and guarantee that your customers see your messages. Or, hey, I'll be here when you're ready to take advantage and improve, your time slots and fill those last minute cancellation issues that you might be experiencing. That's going to hurt them, right? It's going to like, oh yeah, we had 2 cancellations today, and I'm going to tell you that I'm busy, but I'm not really busy, and I wish I had 2 patients or 2 customers that I can be giving massages to today. Or, hey, I wish we had more tables filled at our restaurant today. It sucks, but I'm not going to admit that, but I'm going to think about it, right? So the pass sent up, like after you sent, if they agreed and you sent them the pass, hey, Dave, it's Drew over here at SendPush. I'm calling to see if it makes sense to set up a mobile wallet marketing for Island Pizza or Close Harbor Seafood. Most businesses are seeing an 60 to 80% reduction. Come up with a number, right? Doesn't really matter. 60 to 80% reduction in no-shows and last-minute cancellations, with 90% of their customers actually seeing these special messages come through. No social media required, none of that kind of stuff, right? Right there on their lock screen. Hey, I'll handle the full setup on my end. Get your first wallet pass running. In fact, you already have access to it, and we'll help build this communication channel for you. I'll be on my mobile. My telephone number is 484-797-4544. Done. Right? On to the next one. On to the next one. That's literally the messaging sequence that you're setting up. Now, of course, some of these may not apply to the types of businesses that you are working with. We've got a bunch of them down here, right? We've got email templates. We've got all kinds of stuff, right? Here's a follow-up email sequence. I personally like these right here. Like I use this a lot. Hey, I can get this running for you this week. Green check mark. Has anybody ever noticed, by the way, I use a lot of green, right? It's a favorable psychological check mark. Like, yep, that checks that off, checks that off, checks that off. It's a positive, reaffirming type of signal. Hey, this is going to help start reducing the effects of last minute cancellations on your business. Would that be helpful to you? Hey, it's going to help get your customers to come back to your business. It's going to help get those customers to come back to your business more often. And it's going to help get your customers to come back to your business and buy more stuff each time that they do. Like, who wouldn't like that for their own business? Right? Give me number 8 in chat if you would like to have more customers coming to you, coming back to you more often, and buying more stuff from you every time that they come to your website or come to your business or call you. You want the telephone to ring, ringy dingy dingy, right? That's what we're trying to get happening here. So here's some other alternatives for various types of businesses. Again, uh, full disclosure, if you see a screw up in this text message, feel free to edit it for yourself and apply it. If it doesn't seem anywhere near how you might present a business, totally cool with that. Totally cool with that. Right. So, what I've done here is kind of giving you some phone scripts and some email versions of this, and you can apply it back into the main script. So, for restaurants, hey, I discovered something that's helping local restaurants fill last minute reservations or last minute cancellations. I'm not sure that many restaurants are doing reservations these days. Most of them are self serve. They walk through the door. It may not be applicable, right? Email. Our restaurant clients are seeing 70% improvement in filling last minute reservation cancellations within minutes by using mobile wallet alerts. Like one could probably conceptualize that. Hey, we've had people cancel their reservations. Um, you know what, let's send out a push notification to our entire list. And now the 2 tables that weren't reserved are now reserved. They got, those cancellations have been filled, right? Similar type of deal with salons, medical and dental. I don't know about this, right? So I kind of threw this in here. I probably will delete this in the file. We're not really dealing with appointments whatsoever. So you could just feel free to ignore that, right? Advanced follow-up sequences like the second follow-up, quick question about your business. Hey, quick question. Are customer last minute cancellations still costing your business revenue each month? Like sometimes when you type in like costing them revenue each month, that kind of gives them another reason to pay attention to your follow-up email. And just because they didn't answer your first call, your second call, your third call, it means nothing. They're busy. I literally have like 50 billion emails that I haven't seen in across all of my email accounts, and I'm only one person. So I'm trying to get better with that kind of stuff. The same is true for your prospects. I can show you exactly how other restaurants, other businesses are solving this problem using mobile wallet technology. Really, really simple. Feel free to ideate and make it your own. 5-minute call, your telephone number, your name. Done. Follow-up email, closing the loop, right? Sort of deal. You never really want to close the loop. Hey, I wanted to close the loop on a mobile wallet marketing for you. It's just another reason to get into their email. And even if you do send this email, you may want to open up with something else. Open the loop again, right? Never really close the loop until they tell you, hey, I'm going to file a restraining order against you. You're not trying to be a pest, but just be consistent in your follow-up game, right? So here's some of those key messages. Let's kind of get into some of the additional use cases for your scripts. Like these are really good. Now, here's some of the alternatives here, like slow periods of revenue generation. Hey, empty tables, chairs during off-peak hours. Like every restaurant has slow times, right? And it's probably the bane of their existence. So, hey, I discovered something that's helping restaurants fill empty tables at 2 p.m. and generate more revenue during slow periods. Are you interested? And the whole benefit here is filling dead hours with perfectly timed offers. When you're trying to drive attention to your downtimes, this might be good. We'll be talking about some other things like inventory and stuff like that in a little bit. Well, there you go, inventory. Problem, seasonal or stale inventory sitting on the shelves, right? That's the problem that we're trying to solve here with these passes. Hey, I discovered something that's helping retail stores like yours move inventory 3 times faster using instant customer alerts. And the benefit here is obviously turn slow moving inventory into cash within hours or days, that sort of thing. Still giving them an excuse to let them know that they've got a sale on, stagnant inventory and that sort of thing. Or customer win back. They lost customers who haven't returned in months and discovered something that's bringing those customers back in who haven't visited in 60 plus days. Although we're not segmenting lists, you can still send a broadcast out to the entire list. Many of them probably haven't been in the store recently. They haven't come in for a cup of coffee. They haven't bought anything with them recently. You can just make an announcement to bring them back into the. Does that make sense? I think that makes sense, right? Customer win backs are good. Competitor advantages. The problem is customers choosing competitors. Hey, I discovered something that's helping businesses steal customers from competitors using geo-targeted alerts. This is where it allows you to start talking about that type of feature inside this business. As you are all aware, right? And just to be perfectly candid with this, um, I think we mentioned it like 100 billion times, but we'll do it another time. Geo notifications are not available on Android, so just be prepared for that, right? But there's a ton of people using iPhones, and when Google and Android opens it up, that's a non-issue. So you don't need to mention it at all until they ask, hey, this feature is coming for Android soon. Just like other features that aren't available on iPhone, well, Android has the favor in that regard, right? So basically, you're noting you're getting a notification when customers visit their competitors. You can use a geo fence at a competitor. And if they happen to have the pass on their device, they're going to receive a geo fence if they're an iPhone user. That's just an internal notification. What about event promotion and awareness? Low attendance at events or poor promotion response. We've got a comedy club. They've got 35,000 people on their email. Actually, I think it's close to 41,000 people that I learned recently. And they're always adding new shows and new events. Hey, I discovered something that's helping businesses get 90% of their customers to actually see their event announcements. Here's the crazy thing. The 41,000 people, they don't email their list. So they're relying on the algorithms of Facebook to hopefully let people know they think that everybody sees every single one of their message. What if you could reach all of your previous customers to let them you're not expecting 41,000 people to come to your 2,000 seat comedy club. You wouldn't be able to fit them all, but you could sell 2,000 tickets, right? By sending a push. Well, I don't even know what that conversion is. It's ridiculous. You could probably sell a heck of a lot of tickets. They always sell out? No. But could you? You could. Customer retention. Right? There's 25 of these things. Right? I think something like that. It just goes on and on and on and on. So we'll handle a couple more. You should have access to this document. If you don't, I'll make sure that it's inside the members portal so you guys can see this. Well, let's just kind of talk about the different types of methodologies here, right? Some membership engagement, weather dependent businesses, lost revenue due to weather cancellations. That's a big problem that comedy club was talking about. They were talking about a massive, the hurricane came through and, the roads were flooded out, or it was a snowstorm or something like that. And they felt a lot of anxiety. This would make the owner, the operator, and the staff feel better that they don't have to sit there. They could probably get home and be with their families without worrying so much about all of their customers and clients coming to an empty comedy club and restaurant, right? So that's a huge deal for lots of businesses to be able to communicate their open and close days. Membership engagement, members paying but not using the services. I discovered something that's helping membership-based businesses like gyms and fitness places increase their usage by 65%. Most of these businesses don't really care about the usage, but if they want to tap into the marketing, maybe get more engagement on their products and services, they might do that as well. So gyms, country clubs, subscription types of services. We got referral generation, birthday, anniversary marketing type of stuff. You can, like, hey, for everybody that's has a birthday in October, we've got our spooky Halloween season special coming up. Now, just show your membership card and your ID, and you'll get a special, Reese's cup or something. I don't know. You come up with something. Loyalty program activation. We're not really talking about so much as punch cards and stuff. I discovered something that's helping businesses increase loyalty program. It's a VIP card, right? The VIP card allows them special designation. Sometimes people just like to collect cards. We're not talking about punch cards. We're not talking about couponing, none of that kind of stuff. But you can still leverage these passes as almost a faux, not even a faux, a true VIP club. Emergency urgent communications. We got cross location. Like, anybody deal with a business that has multiple gyms, multiple yoga studios, multiple massage therapy places, multiple restaurants, right? This is a huge deal. Multiple locations not sharing their customers. Maybe you can do that. Hey, I discovered something that's helping multi-location businesses and practices increase cross-location visits by 45%. Hey, can't make it to the Springford area? How about you head over to the Limerick edition, right? Or the I don't know, Springfield, whatever. You get the idea. You'll be able to you know do cross promotional marketing for multi chain restaurants and so on and so forth. So here's some other things, like really one liners. Real estate, we've got something for education and training, reduce no shows for courses and workshops, makeup sessions. You could probably fill spots from cancellations. Hey, we had somebody just cancel their session today. Wanted to let everybody know that this spot is available. And then you fill out some of that churned appointment times. Continuing education, financial services. I don't know so much about that. You could probably do some generic type of stuff, like just letting people know about options. Hey, if you need an opportunity to pay your bill online, we're just letting everybody know that that source, that resource is available. That's kind of iffy. Probably work on that a little bit. Emotional trigger scenarios, fear of missing out, convenience and time saving, personalization at scale. Although you can't really do one-on-one, like one-to-one type of pass, you can kind of personalize it to all of your customers by making sure that you are, hey, we want to take care of our VIP customers. We're sending out a message to let everybody know that this is going to be available, that's not going to be available, right? Seasonal. Anybody work with any seasonal type of businesses? Holiday rush management. Hey, overwhelmed by during the busy season, I discovered something that's helping businesses manage holiday crowds and maximize revenue. Be on the lookout for our special Black Friday notification. Only our VIP customers will receive this notification about special offers. Only those that have the VIP card are going to get the link to our special offer. You show this, and you're going to get 50% off, something along those lines. Turn those chaos during that selling season into something very profitable. Slow season survival. Revenue drops during off seasons. Hey, I discovered something that's helping seasonal businesses maintain cash flow year round. That's probably going to be interesting to most, if not all, businesses. Back to school and New Year rushes, missing opportunities during the transition periods. Hey, I discovered something that's helping businesses capture 3 times more revenue during the transitional type of seasons. Operational efficiency, you got staff scheduling optimization, like in the healthcare industry, and a lot of people that are looking to pick up extra shifts and stuff like that. Overstaffed during, like, I'm actually having a conversation with a company called GHR, General Healthcare Resources. And they're looking at this technology as a way to communicate, um, their open shifts. And do we have to have a direct communication? No, they just have a link that goes to their open shift periods for certain locations and that sort of thing. Hey, I discovered something that's helping businesses optimize staffing and reduce their labor costs, which is huge, right? Particularly in the staffing industry where there's a lot of fierce competition between companies. Here's one way to keep their staff really happy when they're looking for work, and also just open up the opportunities for people to know about opportunities where they can work and where they can't work and that sort of thing. Supply chain type of stuff that may or may not be great, but customers frustrated by stock outs and delays. I don't know. Has anybody ever had like my daughters? I think a couple of years ago liked a certain shoe. Forget what it is called. Uggs or something like that. I don't know. Weird brown looking shoes. Or I think it's an Australian company, but the certain style that they were interested in and that certain size was like sold out everywhere online, even the small boutique places or whatever, that specific thing, like there was lines. It's kind of like the Cabbage Patch thing way back in the day. Those things, they go out of style. But what if you could just say, hey, there's a new shipment that just came in. I discovered something that's turning supply chain disruptions into customer loyalty opportunities, and let people know when they're back in stock, right? That's what they want. They want a mad rush of people buying that kind of stuff. Quality control. Here's some other competitive advantage scenarios: competitor monitoring, losing customers to competitors without knowing why. To discover something that's helping businesses know exactly when customers are considering their competitors. That's the geofence type of strategy. Price matching, we got service differentiation, multi benefit master script, right? So, very basically, you can kind of, mix and match universal benefit lists. And we'll go through those. So here's the script here. Hey, I discovered something that's helping local businesses solve their biggest problems, like solving no-shows or filling slow periods, bringing back lost customers, moving it. You don't have to use all of them. You can use one or two of them if you want, and guaranteeing 90% of their important messages are getting seen instead of being ignored. Universal benefit list, you can kind of pick and choose to use, to add, to not add these in there if you wish. Industry specific adaptations, we've got adaptations rather. We've got stuff for restaurants, retail, fitness gyms, professional services, automotive, and then give you a list of some opening hook opportunities like quote unquote solving no shows or last minute cancellations, filling empty slots, bringing back lost customers, guaranteeing customers see important business messages. It goes on and on, right? So I think this should give you more than enough to get started. And frankly, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, David, and come back on. I think that the very best thing that you can do is just create a pass on someone's behalf and send them send them a text message. Hey, I made this for you. I would love to get your opinion on this. If you happen to have questions about it, this is really interesting behind the scenes type of sneaky stuff, right? You just say, hey, this gives you the ability to communicate with people that have this pass on their mobile devices. It's kind of like a text message, but it bypasses that without all of the complications. Most people get that. They understand that. And when you couple that with their logo, it's pretty much all you need. It's literally all that you need. Hey, by getting this onto everybody's devices that are out there, it gives you a direct communication, kind of like that, that red Solo cup with the string that's matches between you and your neighbor's kid. Like that's kind of interesting. Most people, that's kind of interesting. Um, so with that said, I know that was exhaustive. I know it was a little bit monotone there. Um, it's literally a recipe. It's a spice rack for you guys to go in there and pick and choose something off the shelf that, seems to resonate with the types of customers that you're going to be going after. And there's a ton of them. There's a ton of them. Just start applying some of that strategy and mix in, getting much better with your sales skills. I think you'll have an exceptional time with SendPush. That said, David, I'm that's all I got for today. I think we over delivered on the script. You guys should all have access to it. If you don't, I'll make sure that it's re-added into the members area, and you guys can pick and choose what you want to work with.
Love it. Good stuff there. The key is you just got to get out and mix it up a little bit. Try some of this stuff out. See what resonates. See what feels comfortable for you. Um, Nothing bad's going to happen. You know, if you go out there and bumble around your first few times, you might feel embarrassed for, a split second. Which members area school? Oh, and there's what's Owen asking here? Which members area school group or sendpush website?
Sent the learn.sendpush.io.
Oh, yeah, it's in the learning portal. That's where everything's going to go. That's a centralized place for any recordings, replays, assets, content. Um, we really don't plan on using the school classroom for that sort of stuff.
Mark was asking, and by the way, if you happen to have a question, and we missed it, put in a QQQ so I can identify it. I'm going through the chat right now, and that will help
Yeah.
us identify your question.
Tim,
Mark,
I'm gonna reverse this and ask you that question. In your brain, what do you see as some great niches and why?
who asked that?
Tim Glenn in chat.
As
Um,
Tim's taking his time doing that, anybody else? What other industries do you think are good? Uh,
Dar
Dara says
says
nonprofit.
nonprofits. Yeah, because they can do event and yeah, it's great for nonprofits for sure. Absolutely. Um, Bob says, are there limitations when presenting this to larger companies that do trade shows? There's really no limitations from our side. No. Chambers are great. I know John's talking to Chambers actively, which is amazing. Food trucks, killer. Almost like the perfect storm use case for this technology is like a food truck. Like that, they have a lot of needs, right? They're mobile, they're in different locations, their menus change, what they have available changes. The geo, fencing is really an amazing feature for a food truck. The ability to let people know, hey, today we're at blah 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 corporate park, or we're going to be down at the farmers market Thursday morning. That for a food truck is amazing. I think that's a great niche to go after. Sports coaches who take daily one-to-one clients and get cancellations, sure, absolutely. Yep. I'm thinking even just for my son's, travel baseball team, Drew, get all the parents to put a card on their phone and you can get a quicker alert to oh, the fields are closed because of the rain. And they just make sure that everybody gets that message because they use some apps sometimes that are not always that efficient. Um,
Yeah. So here's the thing. A majority, I'm sure that most of the businesses that you are thinking about or not necessarily thinking about probably have some customers that have mobile devices. And that opens it up, like, using some create like, how would this type of business, you don't have to rack your brain, but start with some of the low hanging fruits and you'll be very profitable quickly if you start showing it to those types of businesses, the ones that have just been mentioned. You can get really jiggy with it, have some fun with some of these businesses. Maybe even use it for yourself as a personal business card, right? Hey, if you have, like, anybody want to do business consulting in general, like Sandy did something the other day. She put her lead bubble as one of the links on the back of the pass. So could you create one for yourself and use like the Hormozy bot that we've put together for everybody? Like, that's an amazing tool. The custom GPT that we've given to everybody yesterday is remarkable just for marketing purposes, right? That's for you. Like, can you ideate on something like that where you create something interesting on the back of the pass? I think it was Tim. Somebody did something with, like, I don't know. He's hacking something together with, try to do like a push to call. That we don't support that, right? But he's doing some funky stuff, and it's interesting to see how people are starting to ideate with creating, direct to email and lead capture pages and stuff like that. Yeah, try
yeah.
it all. Try it all. See if that works for you.
So here's a question for everybody. Drew and I are always thinking about ways to improve the software platforms, right? Not in We don't want to add stuff to it that makes things complicated or kind of makes it feel bloated or unnecessary. But one thing we were thinking about, and let us know in the chat if this might be interesting for you. So obviously, the app's basically 99.9% mobile, right? I don't know of too many people who are downloading wallet passes to their desktop computers or laptops, right? With that being said, um, when sending a push notification and directing somebody to go check out what's on the back of the pass, whether it be a link, um, whatever it happens to be, it's always good to be able to add context, more information, lay something out. Maybe there's a video, some text, some information that somebody needs to consume. So we were kind of thinking it might be interesting to add kind of a mobile first, very simplistic kind of drag and drop page builder into the app, so you could build kind of quick and dirty little, mobile landing pages. And then imagine being it when you're actually, you know, creating your pass or editing your pass and you're on the back of the pass section where you'd add your links. What if there was a drop down? You can go and grab a link or a URL from one of these little mobile landing pages. Would that be something useful that you think would add to the platform?
Mark, I think we got a vote from Mark. We got a vote from Dara, um, Tim, Glenn, Bob.
Cool. All right.
It's all coming in.
Looks like we're maybe on the right path there. Cool. All right. It's good to know.
Dara, what are you struggling with on the back of the pass? I think you did it with the pass that I downloaded. I think you got it. I think you did a really good job with it. So I'm curious to see what you think you're struggling with.
Y-
Is it okay if I speak?
Yeah,
Sure.
sure.
Okay. Um, so I lost that pass that I sent to you, Drew. When I created a new workspace, somehow the old workspace was still there, but the pass was gone. So I had to recreate it. And then I was rethinking like what I should put on the back of the pass. Um, if I should put an offer or if the offer should wait for when we do notifications. So I'm just a little confused on that back of the pass. I know that Sandy did it really cool and different people, and I'm looking at theirs and I'm trying to figure out for a restaurant or like for myself. Has anyone, I would love it if people would share if they did one for their actual business, for this, like mine is called Smart Notify,
Mhm.
and what they're putting on the back of the pass. I guess I'm just a little bit struggling with that because I was creating
Yeah.
one yesterday.
So first off, the passes don't just disappear. So you probably just need to switch into the correct workspace, most likely, Dara. Um, and if a pass did disappear, you should tell us about that.
Okay.
Because that's not something I doubt it's just gone. It's probably just in a different workspace, and you need to switch back into that workspace to go back and see that pass.
Okay.
Um,
Do
the
that.
best advice for you is to just keep it simple. You're not looking to lay out an offer on the back of the pass. You simply just want to use it as a way to point somebody in the direction of more context, more information. Maybe it's a video, maybe it's a landing page that has an offer on it. Maybe um, it's a video, like a TikTok. Maybe it's to the online ordering for the business. Maybe it's to um, the reservation system for the restaurant. Who knows what the use case is, but just keep it simple. It's just like a little description of, what the link is
Yeah,
and
there's your
the
pass.
actual hyperlink to go view more.
I think
So
that's the new one.
that's the new one.
I think so. I had it on. Yeah, there's
There it
two of
is.
them.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
what you want to do is you come down into like this area here, Everybody can see this down in the lower left-hand corner. If you click on this, you click on switch workspace. I'm not sure if that's popping up for you, but I see
It
3
is.
workspaces, one that says default, one that says restaurant workspaces, one that says connect smart AI solutions. The one that I'm looking at right now is the default,
Okay.
right? So that's this one here, right? And let's take a look at the back of the pass, right? 20% off, etc. And that
Okay.
is right. So 20% off mushroom blue cheese. By the way, it was really, really good one. Let's go back in to switch the space to the work or the restaurant. There's nothing inside there.
Yeah, it
Um,
was originally in the restaurant. That's why I got confused. And then this is
yep.
the one that I started to create yesterday for me, but then I was like, "Do I need one? But how do I want something that pops up on my screen." Like, so, I'm confused on how to use it to like you were showing, Drew, like, I want something that'll pop up on on my screen to show them
Mhm.
how it works.
Yeah. So I think the DFY landing page that you have is probably a good solution to do that. Other than that, I would probably, create an animated GIF or something like that that shows them step one, step two, step three, and I guess we could probably try to create something like that, or if you
A
guys know how
landing
to do
page
it
has
yourself.
that. It has step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yep.
Um,
That's why
it's
I started to think about it, and I thought, "Well, maybe I don't need one for Smart Notify." So that's that one that I stopped building. I was like, "Wait
Mhm.
a second, I don't know how this is gonna work, so I'm gonna stop." So yeah, that was my question, and I have built out my website, and I like it.
Mhm.
So, the only thing that I changed were the photos, so I lost some of those, like Sal's Pizza had the overlay. I'm trying to figure out how to get that little overlay back on top of the new pictures. When I told it to change the picture out, it took away, and I don't know if those were embedded or what they were. So, um, I have a little bit of work to do, but otherwise I really like the website. I'm happy with it and I can start using it.
Yeah, nice job, Dara. I think you've got it. Just working through
yeah.
different types of campaigns.
And listen, like
Show
you don't even really like the back of the pass is not like a necessary thing. I think it's cool if you want to direct somebody to go find a link to go look at something, but you literally can when you send a push notification out, you can alter the front of that pass, the message that's right on the front of the pass. And maybe, it's just a limited time offer. Like it's buy one, get one free pizza slices until 6 p.m. tonight. And it can literally just say that on the front of the pass
Yep.
or in the image. It really depends. There's so many different use cases. It's hard for us to tell you, Dara, like exactly what you need to do or what exactly should be on the back of the pass or exactly how you should use it. But in general, don't overthink it. Like, just keep it simple. Like, what you're really trying to do is just get a message across or point somebody in the direction of something to go look at or go do.
Okay. Okay. So if there's something they need to go do, the back of the pass is perfect to get them to go to those links.
Yep.
Mhm.
But if
Sure.
it's something that it's just come in and then the back of the pass is show us this pass, if they're coming in for that offer today, they're walking in. Like,
Yep.
If that fits the use case, sure. Yeah.
okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't there for those first, I didn't have
All good.
access to the first, stuff, so I just was a little bit more,
Mhm.
hesitant on exactly how to do it.
You're doing great there. Well done.
Thank you.
Uh, Conrad, my man, check it out, David. He said he's got nothing on the back of his pass and getting great interest already. I just told them that they can link out to whatever they want
Yep.
and asked what would ever make the most sense for them. Now he's only done this 2 times so far, but he's batting 100% for
That's great.
positive interest.
Yeah,
Right.
like, people understand what this is for the most part. Like, people are, pretty well versed. Even my mom, who's, 77 years old, uses the credit cards in her mobile wallet. Apple Pay. Bink. She's 77 years old. She gets it. I think most people understand what's going on for the most part. And if they don't, they'll learn. It really doesn't take much to kind of figure it out. Um,
Hey,
So,
Drew and Dave, this is John Hogan.
hey, John.
hey, John.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, I mean, and you guys highlighted it last week that I went out and talked to a local restaurant, and they immediately got it, gave me
Mhm.
a check for $1,500, and we're working on that right now. The other thing that I've been doing, I have about 4 or 5 different chambers who I have given away the lead bubble to. And now we're going back in and having this discussion about this. And I've had 2 discussions with directors who love this idea and see value in it. I had one of them talk to me today about, how do I make money off of this? And it's like, well, let me tell you, because you can offer, the geolocation to your members, and the value of that is immense. And so I have been loving the idea that I can go to a chamber who already has authority, who already has 1,500 members, and say, this is what you can do with it. So just again, thinking in terms of making something that's an easy offer to a local organization, such as a chamber or someone else that already has their membership, a closed loop system,
Love
and
it.
make it work for them.
Yep.
Love
Love
it.
it. Nice job. So John's already got his first client. He's already covered his expense for SendPush for the entire year. The rest of those 19 or whatever workspaces that he has left are pure profit. So, like, good job, John. That's
Yeah, well
awesome.
done, John. We should have like a check club or something for everybody that's closed the deal. I like it. What do we call that? The 997 checks, whatever. We'll call it $1,499, $1,500 check club.
One
Congratulations,
thing,
John. That is what we want to hear.
one thing I want to cover too is like I've talked about this before. Like, there's a lot of variables here in terms of mobile phones, settings on mobile phones, how people have their phones set up, privacy, settings on phones. There are variables that are going to prevent those push notifications from showing up on some people's phones. It's just the way it is. We can't control it, but you know what? It's okay. Those same variables also apply to other channels like email and SMS. You know, Apple's automatically filtering out SMS messages that I get and putting them into a spam box and marking them as spam for me. AI is doing it.
Yep.
Email. My God, email's a pain in the ass. Take it from guys who are sending out like password resets to people and, a lot of marketing emails. Like, it's a nightmare trying to decipher why an email is going into a spam box. So there are variables and things which it's going to happen, are going to cause the alerts not to show up on a phone, maybe even your phone. Sometimes there's a glitch that happens and the Apple doesn't put through the notification. It doesn't mean it doesn't work, and it doesn't mean it's not a powerful system and strategy that businesses should be using.
How do we do today, guys? Are there burning questions right now? I know that David and I pushed you a little bit to be a little bit uncomfortable and vulnerable when it comes to sales. Um,
Yeah,
these
it's not
scripts are,
magic.
yeah,
It's,
they're just,
like, we're being straight with you. Like, unless you go out and actually talk to people and sell stuff, nothing's going to happen. People are not going to come flagging you down, waving checks like, some internet marketing gurus are going to tell you. Nothing's going to happen. You have to go make it happen. Bob, we should have the notification scheduling is working. There's just a couple little bugs going on in there with a few aspects of it. Um, we should have an update for you tomorrow on that. Apologize for the issues there.
Yeah, we're still testing. Like, we did a couple tests on the scheduled passes yesterday, and some of you may have been tinkering with
Yeah.
it. Looks like is it
The
Art?
actual issue is that Google is continually updating their API here, and it's been causing some issues, basically just on the Android side. That's what we're
Mark,
trying to get figured.
that is universal, right? We give and some of them are device specific. I think right out of the, I'm not really sure, but I think out of the box, Apple allows for push notifications to come in. But even so, you and every single user has the ability to turn and modify all that kind of stuff on their own. We have zero control over that.
And it's
Majority of
okay.
people,
Don't get caught on that, because we've been talking to people in support who are just caught up in that. And that's why I'm kind of talking about this. It's okay. You know, you're going to get a certain percentage of people who don't get your emails. You're going to get a certain percentage of people who don't get your text messages. And the same applies here.
yeah, the Susan made a comment, and I think somebody asked about working with clients to get them to help them to get their customers, their constituents to download the pass. Yes, that is what you need to help your clients with, and we've given you some um, marketing collateral to consider. Are they perfect? By no means are they perfect, but giving you ideas about like flyers and retractable banners and
Yep.
coasters and tabletop tents. And are you responsible for buying all that stuff? No, you're not. I would recommend that. Hey, we've provided this. Here's some ways that we can help you. They take it and have it did, right? Yeah, that's the way that you're helping them, because ultimately that cost of them putting that into play and finding clever ways to like we talked about the Wi-Fi clings that you can hang to the wall or a banner or whatever. Hey, for the free Wi-Fi for the coffee shop, scan the QR code, download the pass. The password is on the back of the pass, which they can
Yeah.
always control. What that password is going to be, and there's going to be people that just stroll in and they're going to need the Wi-Fi, whether they've got a VPN or they don't have a VPN. They're still going to want access to the Wi-Fi. Boom, they scan it, they get the pass. Now you've got a bridge, a communication tool. That's one way, right? What about movie theaters? Right. I know like some of these old time movie theaters, like it's really cheap these days to get advertising inside of movie theaters on the big screen. Put the QR code up there. Hey, download the Boyertown VIP pass. Stay connected about all the events that are happening in downtown Boyertown. Sometimes they fill out that theater with hundreds of people. That's one thing, right? Could you run ads? You can run ads. You can do all kinds. It's really about using your marketing and advertising chops to think, hey, how can we get more of this stuff into people's, onto their devices?
And really just like keep it simple. Like, let me ask you this. Like, if you were working with a small business and helping them grow their email list, what strategies would you use to get people signed up to their email list? Or if you're working with a small business and helping them build an SMS list, what strategies would you use to help them grow that list? It's really not much different here.
Business cards, guys. As simple as that. You got a QR code on the back of a business card. Like you can have that on the tabletop or the desk, the front checkout desk or whatever, business card. Hey, download our VIP pass. Well, as soon as somebody sees VIP pass, oh, what is this? They get it, they scan it, they put it on their device, they forget about it. Right? Like cheap, super cheap, super active. Like go to meetup groups, hand out your business card, VIP card. I am in the business of creating VIP experiences for businesses with mobile wallet passes. What the hell is that? Oh, let me show you. And bring out Dara's, VIP pass or your newsletter pass. Anybody have a newsletter here? Anybody here running a newsletter, a local newsletter? By the way, many of you will be. For those of you who are on this and you're running a local newsletter with thousands of people, maybe you want to leverage that to advertise your community pass.
Yeah. Conrad's asking, a workspace guest should be able to add edit passes. No, not currently, Conrad. We left that out intentionally. Just thinking that, man, if you've got a pass in that client's share space and they're farting around, fooling around, and delete your pass, not a good thing, or alter it in some way. So we basically just kind of stripped those things out, and they can send notifications, they can set geo fences, and they can view analytics. Maybe at some point, we can consider adding options to add those things in, but no, that's not a part of what's there now. What else here? I will say probably one of the easiest ways, especially if you're working with like service-based businesses, any place that has like a counter, a front counter where there's a checkout, a register, maybe it's a, quick serve restaurant, a retail store. One of the easiest ways is to just offer an incentive. Hey, put a sign here with the QR code right at the register, right at the checkout, right at the front desk. I'll take, 5 or 10% off your purchase today if you just install our VIP pass. Takes, literally scan the QR code, tap, and it's added to the wallet, and then just show it to the person behind the desk. Done. The key is you got to work with the business, right? You got to work with them to make them understand that it's not like a passive thing. If it's passive, it's going to take forever. They need to work and put a strategy and system in place and get their staff on board. That's where the real juice is here. Working with the business to help them grow that asset. We've said this over and over and over again, because the more that asset grows, the less likely it is that that client is going to leave you and stop paying you. That every new pass install compounds and makes that asset more sticky for you as a business.
Yep.
So if they put the work in, the time and effort to get 1,000 of their customers over time to install that pass, and now whenever they want, 3 times a day, they can send them a message, either, telling them what's happening at that business or promoting something or just reminding them that they exist. They're not going to want to lose that. So the key here is not the technology. It's not the software. It's you working with the business as a consultant to help them grow that asset.
One of the questions I was going to ask one of the pizza places that I was considering checking out was like, I don't know if pizza places actually have downtimes, but it's still a good question to ask. What if you could turn a dead time, their worst day, into their VIP day, right? Like you just you put a flyer on top of all their pizza boxes and you just build a massive list of people that like to eat pizza in the area. And you turn like their worst day, which is probably like a Thursday or something. I can't imagine any pizza place has a slow day. I just love pizza. And what if you could do that for any particular business where, adding a flyer on top of their pizza boxes, like I'm imagining like Pizza Hut and Domino's and Sal's Pizza and whatever. And once you build that list, you can say, oh, yeah, hey, it's slow today. I really wish that we were busy. Boom. You send out one push notification to the entire area and boom, you're really busy on a Thursday. Like those types of strategies, turning X into Y, right? Which is like awesome. I mean, that's kind of weird to say that, but you get the idea. Yeah, I mean, these are intentional strategies that you're going to need to work through to help some of these businesses start to convey. Somebody had a question here. Is Venkat? So Venkat was asking about the share the past page. And somebody else had talked about this a little bit earlier. Venkat, did you add a custom domain to your website? And if you did you clear your cache? Because most of it, we went through this a little bit earlier today. If that's a bug, we'll look into it. But
Now, there's no bug there. I mean,
I don't think
it
so either.
works. No, there's no bug. No,
Yep. Okay,
no.
so we were looking at yep, you need to clear the cache. Like after you've added your custom domain, that's probably what the issue is with that particular pass's QR code. So yeah, we were very intentional in making sure that particular thing would work, and that many people would be hung up on it. Yep. Owen says custom domain works for me on everything. Yeah, so it's probably just a simple clear the cache or cache, whatever you want to call it, Venkat. Not a big deal. If you're still having an issue with that, reach out to me personally through support, and I'll look into it for you. But most part, it's working for everybody. Any other last minute questions here, guys? I know we've been on here for a little while. If you are struggling with sales, again, not a pitch, but it's a soft pitch. If you need help with that, I would highly recommend that you join us in our Learn to Sell mastermind group. These principles are super transferable, both in your personal life and your business life as well. I found that my personal relationships with people and navigating things with my daughters, with my wife, and all kinds of stuff is being able to communicate that much more effectively with people and give them exactly what they want and less with what they don't with, and get out of the obscurity, right? Not rise from obscurity, but at all without having to be, obscure in the way that you're speaking to people as well. So if you're interested in that, reach out to me. You probably realize that you need it. We'd love to have you on the inside of that as well. So David, I see your screen now, David.
Yep. So let's grab. This is Art's page, I believe. So as you can see, what's the URL say?
myvippass.us.
Yeah. So if I click it, it goes to myvippass.us. There's no, on my end here, Art, it's working as it should, using your custom domain. So might just be a caching issue as Drew stated.
I think it was Venkat that said that. So, or
Or
maybe Art said it too. But just clear your cache or cache, Venkat. Would you charge for per additional location for a business? That's entirely up to you. I think if you've got a business that has a multi-location business that's, in the same town or city or whatever, I'd probably treat it as one for something like this, particularly if you're using the same pass. But also know that, you're limited to the number of, push notifications across your account. So if you're trying to segment your pass list, that might be something worth considering, particularly if it's like a multi-location owner, or if it's the same company or same type of company and two different owners of the franchise, that might be something that you can approach them with. But listen, the pushback on some of these prices are I haven't really received that at all. And if you truly have a startup company that has budgetary concerns, they probably have bigger problems and challenges at the moment, but this can certainly help them as well. So it's entirely up to you an approach. I would probably try to go for multi, bake that into your pricing plan. Hey, for multi locations up to X amount of locations within a certain vicinity, like you can create exclusivity right within your plans as well. So I would consider that.
cool.
Somebody asked, so if we give them access, can they edit the message at the back of the page, but not the front of the page? Do I understand that correctly?
What they
Uh,
can do, Mark, is we don't give them access to the pass, meaning there's no way that they can delete the pass or mess anything up in that account. What they can do is they can set their own notifications. And when you set a notification, you do have the ability to temporarily edit the content on that pass. So you basically set a time, day and time when that pass would revert to its original design, the design that you set up within your send push dashboard for that client. But no, they can't permanently edit those designs, if that makes sense. Just play around with it. Log in, create a shared workspace, and play around with that portion of it, and you'll figure it out. There's a tutorial in the Learning Center that shows you how to set that up. That's like the easiest way to kind of learn is just to actually dig in and play around. Take an hour, play around, create a pass, create a workspace, create a shared workspace, just so you can see how it all works. And I think that's probably the easiest way to learn and understand and see for yourself. All right, guys. We've been going on here for a while. Any last minute questions? If not, we're gonna end the call. And I'm sure we'll be doing some more of these Q&As too as time goes on. Awesome. So Mark says, I have a client that wants to see a demo today. That's great. Cameron, we're going to be adding the ability to delete a workspace. You can't do it currently. We'll be adding that ability. We know that's missing. Cool. You're welcome, Dara. We've had fun talking about it. So, all right, everybody. We will get a recording into the learning portal. Again, if you don't know where that is, just click on support and learn or help and support. I forget how we have it in the dashboard, but there's a link right in your dashboard in SendPush that'll take you right there. Help articles, courses, templates, it's all there in our support desk too. So if you need us for anything, you know where to find us, and have a great day, and we'll talk soon.